The soil nutrient that plants need the most of is nitrogen. There seems to almost never be enough of it in our native soils. Now, oddly enough, the atmosphere that surrounds the earth is made up of nearly 80% nitrogen, but it's in a gas form and the plants can't really utilize it. There are a couple of ways that plants can get the nitrogen from the atmosphere, but it has to be converted into another form. One way that that nitrogen in the atmosphere is converted into a form plants can use is when we have a thunderstorm and the lightning slices through the atmosphere. It can actually convert some of that nitrogen gas into elemental nitrogen that will then fall to the earth in the rain, and the plants can utilize it. That's why sometimes when we go out after we've had a thunderstorm, maybe in the springtime, and everything just looks a little bit greener, it's because the plants have gotten a little bit of fertilizer. Well, one other very important way that nitrogen from the atmosphere is fixed into a form that plants can use is by legumes. The clovers, the vetches, and some of these plants, they have an association with a bacterium with their roots that they can fix the nitrogen gas out of the atmosphere into a form that the plants can use. And right here, I've got a vetch plant that I dug up this morning, and maybe you can see these little nodules, these little knots along the root here, little bumps. Right here's a good one, right here on this root. Those are little nitrogen nodules that this plant has fixed from the atmosphere into a form the plants can use. So legumes are very important for that reason. And that's why when we did our cover crop last fall, we planted a mix of grasses and clover. And the clover, of course, being a legume, has grown and fixed a little bit of nitrogen into the soil for the plants. But our cover crop here was planted by our intern last year, Dewey Yorman, and he did a good job of getting it established. It's grown all winter. It served its purpose. It's kept the weeds out. It's provided a nice area for beneficial insects to hang out, and earthworms up at the surface of the soil, and done a good job of keeping this area from eroding and that kind of thing. But now we're going to utilize our cover crop here and turn it into a green manure crop. We've mowed it occasionally through the winter and early spring here, but now we're going to mow it down again, and we chop it up, cut it down to make it a finer, easier material to till in. And Becky Day, one of our volunteers here at the garden, is mowing this down, and we'll come back, and Tammy Craybill is going to run the tiller and till this in. We want to make sure we incorporate this green manure into the soil at least 2 or 3 weeks before we plan on putting any seeds or plants into this area, and it'll do a great job of enriching this soil for our vegetable garden.